I mean, so definitely part of the move to Flagstaff was to position us to be closer to avoiding winter. I say that like, I craft that sentence like that because Flagstaff itself is super wintry, but within a, 40-minute to 2-hour radius, we can get to some really nice, warm, deserty places. And that has just been a game changer for me. Snowbirds, sun chasers, you can call us whatever you want. Hold us where you park it.
I think making an emphasis on full-time running has involved a lot of vulnerability from my end, because it's definitely a commitment to say, this matters to me enough that I'm going to make my life primarily about this. It was definitely a little easier to bounce back from a hard race when I was like going to the office on Monday and I had like other things that were the focus in theory. But when I look back on a lot of those times, the deep internal focus for me was still on running. I was just like able to mask it with something else. This past year, I was able to have some performances that showed me the kind of tip of the spear of what I'm capable of and really realize my potential in certain racing scenarios. Whereas in the past, I think I've thought of myself as more always someone who's in the mix and lucky to have made it there and been, been in a certain top 10, top 5. But the shift for me now is definitely like going to races, not counting myself out and really trying to be pushing the front end of our sport in some of these races. When I structured my goals for 2022, my 3 goals were I want to do a bit of a reach race, one that challenges me and is a little bit outside my wheelhouse, which is Trans-Gran Canaria in a few weeks. I want to go for the course record at CCC, and I want to have some opportunities to crew and support my teammates. I run since I was a kid, since I was in 5th grade. I ran my first race and ran all through high school and college, and I was never someone who was at the front of the pack or the hero runner. And so I think a lot about how the same path that's gotten me here now is the same path that takes me forward. And the same approach that yielded 2021 is ultimately the same one that moves me forward. So it's gonna be likely a mix of long plateaus in training and a mix of total failures and hopefully a mix of higher high points along the way. When I started Ultras, all I wanted to do was finish 100. That was my dream, 100, and I was gonna finish it. And then I did, and then it's like, I'm really good at this. And like, I made so many mistakes and I still finished. So what happens if I start eliminating those mistakes? And I think I can go my whole life and still be eliminating mistakes and keep getting better and better and better. Coming off Madeira, I was 4th. In my opinion, a really disappointing time. And I had a few things just didn't go my way. And I would say they're all my fault and I let them happen. I've had that happen in one other race to that extent, and that was my first 100 miler. I ended up dropping a mile 87. I'm really proud I finished Madeira, and the whole entire race, I was thinking like, you just have to finish. Like, that's it. I knew 1 hour into the race that it wasn't happening. When I failed Leadville, I promised myself I would never do that again. But at that time, my level of failure was just not finishing the race. Now my level of failure is not taking first. That's never gonna happen to me again. That's my mindset. And so every race from here on out, it's not gonna be Madeira. And before Madeira, it was like, it's not gonna be Leadville. Everything in 2022 is going towards UTMB. There's no other race that, if there's another race, it's to train for UTMB. That is the goal.
I love how my body feels when I run. And to not be able to do that and try to have to find that through other means felt very disorienting. My name is Corrine Malcolm. I'm a professional trail and ultra runner for Adidas Terrex. So in February of 2021, I started to have a lot of pain, culminating in a big injury. So I spent much of 2021 totally out of running. No racing, no running, lots of cross training. Not what you want to be doing as a professional athlete, particularly a professional runner. At first I was really upset, but then I was able to kind of say, okay, this is my opportunity to take time off. And honestly, like, taking time off was easier than it's ever been. Corrine of the past would not have been able to do that. So that was kind of cool, that I could take 6 weeks off of not running initially in stride. So learning that, like seeing that in myself, was a good step forward. I think the next part of that was it was an opportunity to do the work that needed to be done, because clearly something wasn't working. And in talking to teammates like Abby Hall, I've recognized that my whole running career, I've tried to protect myself by not taking it too seriously. And so by not taking myself too seriously, I've protected myself from like what I think I'll do to hurt myself, and instead hurt myself. What this time has allowed me to do is understand that I'm actually ready to take myself seriously as an athlete and seriously as a runner, and do the little things and actually consider that part of my job and part of what I want to do every day, instead of being like, if I do any of those things, I'm too serious. Without getting to race myself, getting to be at events, either basically working as the media, is, I think, super satisfying. Like, I get to experience everyone else's joy. I think it does bring like great satisfaction to get to be involved from you know, the very start of the race to the very finish of the race, to the golden hour finishers at Western States, the people who've been out there for 30 hours. Getting to see that whole day fully transpire, I feel like the hype is really intoxicating. It's exhausting. Like, I come out of these trips completely burnt out. I got home from Western States and just like immediately started crying because I was so tired. But I also feel like I'm my best self and my most excited about where the sport is and where the sport's going during those like week-long events. Feelings about the season. I think I'm hopeful. I'm definitely scared. If you care about something, you're supposed to be scared. I think the best goals are things that scare you a little bit. Like, can I do it? Like, will it work? Will I feel good? Will I feel terrible? Like, I don't know, and I think that's why I run ultras, is because there's always an unknown element to it, and I think that we're kind of searching for that perfect race and that perfect day. So yeah, scared is, I think, a positive in ultra running, and then excited because I get to be pinning an actual bib on and like stepping on that side of the line for the first time since February 2020.